Hey guys, we think it's important to start spreading some light on the news that's going on with the national forests and the national parks because a lot of this news is not being sent out and a lot of people are not understanding exactly how it affects people that want to do everyday camping and spend time with their family. So, what we're talking about today is the U.S. Department of Interior has ordered a review of all interpretive signage in the national parks. So basically, if there's signs about climate control, they're talking about taking these signs down. And this is crazy because the cost of this is going to be outrageous. Now, we don't have exact figures, but we're estimating anywhere between $25 million to $40 million to replace the signs based on how many they replace. And we have to stop and we have to ask ourselves, is it really worth it to replace all these signs? Of course, they're saying that the signs are related to things that are not historically correct, but who is reviewing these signs? It makes no sense to sit here and just replace all these signs at the taxpayers' expense. We've already seen recently that lots of park rangers have been laid off or fired. A lot of them are going in retirement, so they're completely understaffed. Every time we go out there and go camping, it's crazy that we don't see any park rangers. It's not like the state park where you have game wardens going around. We literally see a lack of things. The roads are falling apart, which a lot of people would argue that's cool for overlanding, but I mean, we're literally seeing the parks around us go to waste. And the problem with that is they can argue and say, okay, well, if the parks are going to waste, then the best idea is to sell them. And the argument about selling them is, okay, well, we're going to sell the parks so that we can build housing or whatever. That's not a good argument because the parks are the last place where you can go and enjoy the nature. They're being protected for a reason. It's a place where everybody can go out and enjoy life in camping with their family. The directive is called Secretary's Order number 3431, Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History. So who is restoring this truth and sanity? Who is looking over these things? That's what I want to look at. I want to know what's going on. It says that these signs under review are referencing slavery, climate control, Japanese internment, and conflicts with Native American tribes. Well, as we all know and we're taught, history repeats itself. So if we sit here and just change history or ignore the fact of things that happen, well, it's going to repeat itself. We're going to have the same issues. And ultimately, I think it's not a good effect on what's going on. You know, where I live and things I've gone through, I don't want to relive stuff that's happened 100, 200 years ago. I feel that that's an extreme problem that we face, is not realizing what happened or not being taught history and making the same mistakes. That's how they prove that empires fall. At any time, that can be taken from us. You know, we take it for granted that we are able to go out and experience nature. Some of us that, you know, live in Texas like we do, we don't have a lot of BLM land. So the National Forest is really the opportunity out here in East Texas to go experience nature because everything in Texas is privately owned, which some could argue is a good thing, but it's just not a lot of opportunity to see the world for what it is. You know, you can go to Alaska, you can go to some of these other places where it's just wild and you can see things like caribous and animals that, you know, we don't get the opportunity to see. So it's sad to start taking from the national parks. It's sad that, you know, rangers are getting fired, and it's sad that things are just going to waste because ultimately it's affecting me and you every day when we want to have these memorable trips with our families. It says the White House and Interior Department say the goal is to ensure signage is non-partisan, accurate, and patriotic. Well, I think we can honor our history at the same time while being patriotic. You know, I served in the U.S. Army. You know, for my country, I'm extremely patriotic, but I don't want our country to go down the same path we had before and repeat problems because we don't know the history. They have said time and time again that the signage, these interpretive signs, are like the classroom in nature. So a lot of people, families go on hikes and learn a lot of stuff about the trails they're on. And sometimes history is dark, you know, sometimes it's not good, but that doesn't mean let's waste taxpayer dollars on changing all of the signs. I think that's extremely incompetent. It says the policy is expected to affect physical signs, digital exhibits, and visitor center displays. And, you know, you look at this and it's like, who's voting for all this? Let's all get together and vote. I realize, we live in a republic and not a democracy, but I think the public should look over things, and we should have actual historians and people who have proven history's happened to decide what's being on display here. Not just put up what we think we like and what we don't like. Just because American history is tough and a lot of the things can be dark at times doesn't mean there's not light to look at the world and to change the way we feel about things. I feel, honestly, us coming together over some of these things, sharing stories and learning from different cultures is a good thing for us. Enjoying the nature. What nobody seems to understand is if we take advantage of the nature we have today and, we just destroy everything, sell off the land, we can't get that back. We can't fix the problem. I think that's a lot of the reason why Teddy Roosevelt started these national parks and national forests, And yes, you can responsibly take timber from these places like we've seen in East Texas. And I believe, wholeheartedly that conserving is a good thing, but let's just not get rid of everything. And I know it sounds crazy to talk about that, but that's the route and direction we're headed. If we get rid of history and we go back to just destroying everything or selling everything, then we're going to end up in this endless loop where eventually we lose the national parks and national forests. So I think America really needs to take a step back and think about what's actually happening. And it's crazy. It's hard. I go through the same thing. Everybody's so busy talking about things and politics and watching the news. It's like all this is going on over here, but over here, we're not seeing things that are affecting stuff that we may not realize. Sometimes people only go to national parks when they're on a vacation. And while all this stuff's going on over here and it's getting light and people are talking about it, we're not seeing what's actually happening behind closed doors until it's too late. You look at maps of the national forests and they're starting to look like Swiss cheese. There's random spots and squares where there's companies or private ownership, and to us it just doesn't make any sense. I think it should be more like a wilderness area that's untouched, and let nature run its course. So I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments what you think about all this going on and what you think we should do about it, because I just feel like we really need to take a step back, not get political on anything, but just as a nation come together and ask ourselves, is this really the right decision to make? So like always, like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot, guys, and thanks for listening to me.